What's up, guys? This is the Gaming Archive 19 here, and I'm bringing you finally today a video that I guess I was promising to do quite a long time ago, which is, of course, my true feelings about Batman Arkham Knight. Now, if you're wondering why, after I've uploaded this, why on earth my original Arkham Knight review has now been taken off YouTube, that's because I deleted it. And there's a little story I want to tell you as to why I deleted that. So, basically what happened was, when I actually reviewed the game, I hadn't even got to the halfway mark of the story. Like, I think I was about like 33% of the way through. However, because I saw so many people posting reviews, I felt like that in myself I had to post one too. So what I did was I actually borrowed gameplay from one of my friends, and then just uploaded a review for the game, and gave it a 10 out of 10. Honestly, now that I've beaten the game, pretty much gotten all of the trophies apart from 2 or 3 on my PlayStation 4, I could easily say that Arkham Knight no longer even deserves to be titled as the best game of this year. Like, I see so many people saying that Arkham Knight Game of the Year contender, when, in my opinion, this game would only just scratch the surface of a 7.5, because it honestly is such an underwhelming game, because up to the time that I had played the game when I reviewed it, I really liked it. I thought it was going to be a really decent game. But then as I started to trudge through it, I just realized how repetitive and boring the game became. Like, the Batmobile was way too big an influence. And it's just, I don't understand how on earth, Rocksteady could go from making Batman Arkham Asylum, which is in my opinion one of the best games on the PlayStation 3 on the 7th generation period, to this absolute fail. It blows my mind, because we were so hyped up for this game. I think honestly we all fell for this. We all were so hyped up for the game. We thought the game was going to be really epic and something massive and something new. But the problem is now that we've actually played the game, and we've basically just realized that we've all been tricked for marketing. Because honestly, they say though the Batmobile and Batman, they're two of a kind. Bullshit. The Batmobile takes way too much priority in this game. It's like, I'll start now with the story. The story for me is one of the most disappointing stories of the Batman's period. Like, the story in general, you could tell that Paul Dini was not involved with this story. There are so many plot holes that it will absolutely blow your mind. Like, if Scarecrow's going to be gassing the whole city, but he sends a warning out to all the civilians, then who the fuck is he going to be gassing? The only people who will be gassing is his own men. So why the fuck would you warn people to get out of the city if you are going to try and use it to gas everyone? It makes zero sense. And then, if you thought that was it, no, there's still more to come. You remember that cure bullshit from Arkham City? Well, it turns out actually turns you into Joker. It doesn't kill you like it almost did with Batman in Arkham City. No, because they scrapped that out the window because they forgot Arkham City events fucking existed. And also, how the fuck can Batman turn into Joker if he's already had the cure? The reason that the 4 people who are locked up turned into Joker was because they didn't get their cure. So why the fuck is Batman turning into a Joker? I don't know. Maybe they just didn't play Arkham City. It's ridiculously stupid. I don't understand why on earth Rocksteady would try and do this. It's like as if they're all just forgotten the events of City and are treating this as a new continuity. It blows my mind. Why the fuck would you do this? Arkham City at least had a decent story of what it was trying to tell. Yeah, it might have been fucking plodding along after the cure part, but this does an even worse a job of it. And it's just such a disappointing story. I did not give 2 shits what was happening. And honestly, it also just rips off one of the best Batman storylines in the whole series, which is, of course, Under the Red Hood, which is basically just the Arkham Knight. Because, spoilers, I don't give a shit if you didn't even play this game. You should have played it. It's 6 months old now. Jason Todd is the Arkham Knight, alright? But you could see this coming from a fucking mile away. If you had read the comics and you had seen the Arkham Knight's attitude, you could instantly tell that he was Jason Todd. Like, the fact that he calls Batman old man, which is exactly what Jason Todd called Batman in the Under Red Hood storyline as Red Hood and as Robin, you could tell just from that it was Jason Todd. Jason Todd was the Arkham Knight. It's stupid. And I think the point where pretty much everybody realizes that is that scene where Batman envisions Joker and Jason getting and torturing Jason. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure that at that point, everybody realised that Rocksteady have fucked up and given away the biggest spoiler of the whole film. Not the film, sorry, the game. See, it's just making me rage now. So that was the story. The story was just bullshit. And that ending as well. That fucking ending that's supposed to end the whole series, when in fact it's basically just, teasing with your new fucking trilogy. It's bullshit. That's not how you end a series. It isn't. It just isn't. Why the fuck would you end it? And even worse is the fact that you have to 100% the game just to get an extra cutscene that confuses you even more as to whether this is going to be the final game in the series. Like, story's just bullshit. I hated the story. Move on to presentation of this game for the absolutely fucking late review. The graphics on this game, I will admit, are awesome. Unless you happen to have bought this on a PC, for which point it probably still doesn't work for you. I know my cousin had it on PC. I played it at launch, and we couldn't even get past the first mission because the PC kept on crashing. So we basically just sold his game in the season pass, so I can't blame him. But presentation-wise, it does look good. But there's so many frame rate drops on the game, like when you're using the Batmobile. So, but that's really the only negative I could find. I mean, presentation's pretty damn good. But the gameplay... Oh my god, the gameplay is so fucking annoying. Like, the fucking Batmobile, you all know this is coming. I absolutely hate the Batmobile when it is in tank mode. Like, when you're roaming around, normal driving, it's fun. But when you use the Batmobile as a fucking tank, and it becomes Arkham Tank Simulator, that's just not fun. It's just not fun to play. It's really just bad. Like... these combat sections as well, they're so easy, but there's so many of them. Like, they don't even present, and the worst part is that they all get easy, and then all of a sudden, like, in the last half an hour of the game, you have this boss battle, where there's like 70 to 80 of these fuckers, and you have to take down every single one. And at this point, when I was playing the game, I was like, nah, I cannot be arsed with this shit, just fuck off, I cannot be bothered. And it was absolute bullshit. I hated just all of the combat sections. They were so annoying and irritating, and they honestly just really confused me, like, as to why Rocksteady thought that this would be fun to do. Like, as I said, driving around in the city and then taking people down, like, with the missiles that come out of the Batmobile, like, while you're driving normally, that's fun. That's making me feel like Batman. When my Batmobile turns into a tank, I don't feel like Batman, alright? It's just not fun to play. And the worst part is how all of the missions are basically designed around the Batmobile. Like, you have missions where literally you have to put loads of effort in just so you and the Batmobile can be reunited. Like, it annoys me so much, and I mean, that's why I was so happy when the Batmobile originally got crushed in the story. But then obviously he gets a new one, and then I just got depressed. But, the Batmobile sucks dick. And the worst part is that they try to make it like the combat system, which I will say, by the way, is probably the best in the whole series. I love the combat in this game, even if they did take out the ability to have the Bat Swarm, and also the ability to pull people off ledges with the Batclaw. I mean, come on. If you're giving me if the Batclaw, pulling someone off the edge with a Batclaw, why on earth has that been taken out? I mean, come on, Rocksteady. Don't make me think that something I had to do as a challenge in Arkham City's challenge maps, and I'm not going to forget to use it in Arkham Knight. Like, it's stupid. But it tries to make it like the hand-to-hand combat, and it fails. Like, there's only, like, 5 variations you could have an attack, and 3 of them have to be charged up. So basically, you're going to be using the same 2 for most of the time, and it's just boring as hell. Like, I didn't like the combat through whatsoever. It's just got not a touch on the combat, on the melee combat in this game. And melee combat, I feel, there wasn't enough of it, because there was too many fucking bullshit Batmobile stuff. But I kind of expected that. So then, of course, you have that. And then we decide to move on to the side missions. I hated the side missions in this game. Like, they were all just really, really boring. I just didn't like the side missions at all. And mostly because they were all ones of characters that were teasing an appearance from Arkham City that they were going to appear in Arkham Knight, but they were all so disappointing. Like, in particular, Hush. I'm sorry, but Hush's side mission, it does not do his character justice. Like, you had this big build-up in Arkham City, like these people mysteriously dying, having bandages around their faces being cut off. Hush reveals that he's going to try and impersonate Bruce Wayne. All that build-up. And then we get a fucking side mission that can be done in 5 minutes. It's stupid. Hush is one of the best Batman villains ever, and you give him a 5-minute side mission. That is bullshit. It pissed me off so much when that happened. I love Hush as a character, but 5 minutes of a side mission? That is retarded as fuck. And that's not the only part. Like, Azrael, that guy, you know, that prophecy, he basically only appears so you can play as him in, like, a 2-minute and a 1-minute challenge map 4 times. It's stupid. And then, but no, you can make a choice at the end. Wow, I get to make a choice. I don't give a shit. But, you know, this is Rocksteady we're talking about here. I mean, all the other side missions I just found boring. I mean, Riddler's fucking racetracks he builds on the ground really do stretch the definition of the word riddle. I mean, the only honest side mission that I actually liked was the Professor Pig murder side missions, where he basically has all them people and he like dissects parts of their body, I think, and their face. I like that side mission, but then it just reminded me a bit too much of Hush's side mission from Arkham City. But yeah, I just didn't enjoy the side missions at all. And then, last but not least, we have the DLC. This has got to be one of the worst video games for DLC I have seen, period. Like, it is retarded as fuck how bad some of this DLC was. Like, of course, you had the first DLC, which is, of course, the Batgirl DLC. That was absolutely terrible. I didn't buy that DLC. I played it at one of my friends, and it was so bad. I completed it in 50 minutes. Like, I paid fucking £5 for this, and I beat it in 50 minutes. It's just, and this was supposed to be like the big, you know, single-player part of the game. Like, and even worse is it fucks up the continuity for the series as well, because of course, you know, it takes place before Arkham Asylum. But how the fuck is Tim Drake Robin? Like, in Arkham Asylum, Batman has no Robin. And the developers of at the time when Arkham City was made, one of the makers of the game came out and said that in Arkham City, Tim Drake has only been Batman for 2 months. Arkham Asylum takes place a year before Arkham City. So how the fuck is Tim Drake Robin? Clearly Ubisoft Montreal, who I absolutely love for making, you know, Batman Arkham Origins, because I thought it was better in this game. But I'm sorry, but you fucked up the timeline right there. And this was really unimaginative wallet fodder, because it was just nowhere. It just wasn't worth your money at all, worth your attention. And if you thought that was bad, the DLC that came was even worse. You get like the challenge packs. They're so bad. I hate them all. They're so bad. The challenge maps are crap. Like, I don't want that. I want story DLC made by Rocksteady, not story DLC made by Warner Brothers Montreal. It just annoys me so much. Like, how bad, you know, it was. Like, all the DLC that they gave. The one saving grace for the DLC was the Season of Infamy side missions, which I think were the last piece of DLC to be released. I will give credit to them. That DLC is actually pretty decent, and in fact, because basically it's just a load of side missions. But honestly, those side missions are better than the side missions we have in the main game, I felt. Like, those side missions were so much better. They were so much more personal. I felt like my choices had a lot more of a consequence. And it just overall was so much more fun to play than all the other side missions. But that's what annoys me so much, is the fact that this is DLC. And I felt when I got the playing them, I got the feeling that these were obviously kept back for DLC. Like, they could have easily released this in the full game, but they didn't. And even worse, they cut out a fucking DLC that included Prometheus. Like, I'm sorry, but I would have loved to have seen Prometheus as a side quest. But nah, Rocksteady are just like, nah, you can't have that. not giving you that shit. So yeah, the DLC, I mean, it was shit for the first 5 of the 6 months, and then the last month the DLC was pretty decent, but I don't think it was enough to redeem it. So overall, just as a whole, I'm probably gonna give Arkham Knight. I really find this game hard to give a score because the score always fluctuates for me between a 6.5 and a 7. But I think I'll probably have to give this game probably a 6.8 out of 10. I honestly did not enjoy it. I found it to be a mega disappointment coming from a Batman fan. Like, from a Batman fan perspective, it's a 6.8. From a normal game perspective, it would probably have to be like a 7.5 or a 7.8 if you haven't played the previous games. But if you have, you will be disappointed by this. I just found the game to be very, very bad. I really didn't like most of the stuff that they tried with this game. Like, the only saving graces for this game, which I honestly didn't talk about because I was going over the negatives because I hated this game so much. I wanted to get my true feelings off my chest. The only good things I liked about this game were Joker, because he's in the story, and that's just epic. I loved having him in the story, because if it weren't for him, I honestly wouldn't care about what was going on. You have Joker, the combat, like hand-to-hand combat, is really, really good in this game as usual. And from a graphical presentation standpoint, the game looks amazing on consoles. Like, graphically, it's something to behold, on consoles at least. So with that overall, yeah, Arkham Knight will get a score of 6.8 out of 10. I mean, this is really funny. I went to watch Angry Joe's review of Arkham Knight. I remember when he did that, and he got so much backlash and hate for that review. And originally, I didn't like his review, but then when I beat the game, I was in complete agreement with literally everything he said. And I really do think that people were too blind when they're giving this game reviews. Like, I really just didn't like this game overall. I found it to be really disappointing. And I really do hope that if Rocksteady ever do make another Batman game, which I'm pretty sure as hell that they will do, that they don't fuck it up as bad as they did with Arkham Knight, because I definitely know they can't get any worse than this. But yeah, Arkham Knight, 6.8 out of 10. I mean, this is a really light review for the game, but I couldn't stand having that fake review up on my channel, so I just had to post my true intentions of the game in a long video / rant. But anywho, that was it for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you again next time.